Hello, welcome everybody. We are starting a new project. We are starting what I call Halloween 2024. It's how I labeled in my files when I started placing all the information into the files, and there's quite a few files. I had quite a few I had to do before I got to the final one. And so Halloween 2024. I'll be honest, I'm not a big Halloween person. I don't go all out. But when I started setting this up, I really thought it was kind of cute, and I had like 3 or 4 different designs done before I finished. At first, I wanted it to kind of be somewhat applique, whether you did, needle turn or machine. And then I kind of got away from that because the majority of the people that I talk to and deal with through my lives really are quilters that do a lot of piecing. So I decided to do it in a piecing. But for anybody who would like to do the applique method, or in the hoop. At this point, it's just in the hoop. You are welcome to go on to the site, my Etsy shop, Etsy. Let's see, it's srqquilter.etsy.com, and I will make sure there is a place for you to see it in the link, and I'll put it on the screen for you. But I will have a really cute applique. You know what? Let me just step away for a second and see if I can find it. Okay, here is the applique, and the difference is when I finally finished this one, what this one looks like. The satin stitch is a little bit wider because I narrowed it just a little too much for this, and I pulled it apart a little bit because once we do put that satin stitch on, it is not going to give you a very it was a little too close. So this way, spreading it apart will give you a better distance between the pumpkin. But this was the applique one that I was doing. This is the one that we're doing for the piecing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this up here, and I do need a pin. And again, you'll be able to purchase that on my Etsy shop. I will get it up there. It will have it'll have a bunch of different extensions, so you can do it on several different machines. I believe Bernina will be in there. I can't name them all. Janome. I'm trying to think of some of the others. I just can't. I can't even think of any of the machines right now. I'm completely drawing a blank. But anyways, you know what? I can't hardly see that. Let's move it over here where the light's a little brighter. There we go. All right. There. Anyways, so that will be available for you through the Etsy shop just for a small fee to help me cover the cost of, well, first off, the software to be able to do something like this is pretty much astronomical. But I love doing it. I've learned a lot, and I'm just going to keep doing it. So there you go. That's what it looks like. And I can't wait to see what some of you do, especially with the colors, because I mean, to me, that's the biggest thing, is being able to do the colors. So just let me know. Let me know how you like it. All right, so let's see here. Let's get to work. Let's find the tabletop. We're going to get the camera off me. And these are all the pieces that you need for one block. Now, as you see, I've already got 4 up there, but we actually need 5 blocks total for this. Okay? So we have 4 different oranges, and we're going to have one green. Now you can make 4 or 5 different greens, because again, there's 5 blocks. You can do 5 different greens, but you need a 2.5 by 1.5. You've got 2 of these for a block, 2 of these, and again, on your papers that I sent you, you should be able to see what they are. Now, these are different sizes. There's not a lot of difference between them, But I will tell you that you can make the smaller one a little bit smaller, and it would definitely not hurt the design at all. What it would do is just give it a bigger base, because this actually goes at the very bottom, and it creates the roundness, and you would be able to have a wider base. There was just, when I first sent it out, I gave it based on cutting the block in half, and then realized that wasn't how I was doing it. But that was how the, my software told me to do it, and I was like, nah, I don't want to do it that way. Do want to. Well, hey, Miss Jerry, welcome. I hope you're feeling well, or better, at least. I know your sister is concerned about you, and that means that we're concerned about you. And we just want to send our love and prayers out to you, and hopefully you're feeling better very, very quickly. And would love to pray for you at the end. So we'll make sure that the prayer at the end is specifically for you, Miss Jerry. Okay, and then of course we have one little piece here, and this is going to be for the bottom. Now these are all for one block, so you're going to need at least ×5 of this to be able to do what we're going to be doing for the quilt, for the wall hanging. All right, let's get started. Let's take those bigger blocks, and I'm going to show you something. I've had these in the drawer forever. I don't know if you can tell what they are, but they are colored chalk. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna dig those out, and I am going to use those. So we need a small ruler. I'm going to come over on this side. Now, the reason I decided to use chalk instead of, say, a pencil or something is I have such a hard time with pencils. Here's a nice sharp one. When these get dull, they're almost useless, because then that's too wide. I have a hard time with pencils because I don't feel like I ever get a good mark on the fabric. So we're going to put this on here, and we're going to kind of be a little bit far away. Let me see if I can get a little pointy thing here. Where's my pointy thing? It's missing. No. All right. I don't know where my pointy thing went to. All right, so if you look, I'm going to be coming away from that point from my ruler, just because my chalk is fat. I got fat chalk. And then we're just going to draw a line from corner to corner. And we're going to do this with the other one. And it doesn't matter where you put it, because we're going to turn the block. We're going to turn this little piece of paper and not worry about making sure that we put it in the right place. So just give it a good run. We're going to do that one. And then we're going to take the little ones, and we're going to do the same thing. Put the little, line our little points up. Now the one thing I did notice is when I'm stitching, that chalk is bouncing up and down off of the fabric and onto my needle. Not my favorite thing, but you know what? It's all right, just blows right off. All right. So we have the 2 small ones, and we have the 2 big ones. You're going to need to pick 2 fabrics that are going to be your 2 outside pieces. Now, if you look at mine, and I will put them back up on the screen. Camera 4. Okay, so if you look at mine, my 2 outside pieces are pretty much the same, but the order sometimes shifts. So here I have the honeycomb next to the dark red, orangey, and here I have the dark orangey next to the pumpkins. So to me, it's okay to mix it up a little bit. You can even mix up your outside ones, but just remember you need 2 that go to the left and 2 that go, or 1 that goes to the left, 1 that goes to the right. Okay, so let's go back here to the, come on, there we go. All right, and I will explain that in a momento. Okay, so we're going to move these little ones out of the way. And we're going to put this one here, going this direction. Did you see? And then we're going to put this one going in the opposite direction. Just like that. Now because when I'm stitching, if I get the direct center and I go to flip that over, it's not going to be, it's going to take up some of my fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come just on the other side of this line where it's just slightly, and I mean slightly uneven. Now if you're not wanting to mess around with that, then I would say do whatever works. But this works for me because I know that I'm going to have to fold it over and it needs to match up. So I'm going to put that down and I'm going to start sewing. And I'm going kind of gentle because I want to make sure I stay in line and I'm just feeding it. All right, y'all let me know because I'm not seeing any more comments, but that's okay because I mean it could just mean you're listening, and that's important. Okay, so I'm going to come just to the left side of this one. I came to the right side of that one. I'm going to come to the left side of this one, and just stitch just on the other side of that line to give myself a little bit of wiggle room on that seam. Okay. And we're going to snip, snip, and snip, snip there, snip, snip here, here a snip, there a snip, everywhere a snip, snip. Okay, all right, let's come on back here. Now, let's see. All right, so we got our two pieces, and the very next thing we want to do is we want to fold this over and make sure that that comes all the way up to the corner and doesn't fall short, because this is the continuation of this piece, and it needs to come all the way up and all the way across, and that's why stitching just to the other side of that line gives you that little bit of extra fold that you need. I think I heard Becky refer to it as the turn of cloth. Now, and I haven't been able, I have mislocated my tool that I always have around. I have put it somewhere and I do not know where I put it. But I'm sure I have another one somewhere. And again, we're going to flip this over and just make sure it comes all the way up to the corner. I miss my tool. I hate it when I can't figure out what the heck I've done with my stuff. And if y'all, I mean, for anybody that knows me knows that I am notorious for losing my stuff. Every time I go to a retreat, I got to borrow something from somebody. All right, there we go. Now we have two beautiful blocks. We can iron those and then we can trim off right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Karen K Buckleys, which I love my Karen K Buckleys. All right, and I'm going to leave these two together because I actually saved these, stitched them back together, and use them for a scrap project. In fact, they'll probably turn up in my dryer sheet quilt. All right, and then we're going to snip that one off and throw that over in my pile. Okay, so those two are ready. And I don't think I have my iron on. That's going to take a few minutes to warm up. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the next one. Do we have any questions so far? Oh, thank you, Miss Jerry. Yeah, we love you. We want to make sure that we pray God's protection around you right now. All right, and that's what that's going to look like. So we're going to be coming in, we're going to kind of make a curve on this. So you're going to want the small blocks just like this. You see how it's not quite lined up? And this is going to create where the top is a little narrower than the bottom. So our not so perfect pumpkin. I don't know if I've ever seen a perfect pumpkin, especially since they have all those funky lines in them. All right, let's take this over to the sewing machine and get those sewn down. And let's get there we go. And if you see anything amiss in the lining of the, you know, cameras or whatever, please let me know. Because sometimes there are just some things I can't see. I actually remember to switch over to a black. And then with that last one. And I'm still just coming to just to the other side of that line. And there's that, and that, and that. Trim, trim, trim. And of course I have my little pin and bags all over the place. I think one of the projects we might do before we get started on another one is going to be a bag. Actually, let's see if I got one right here. Here, hang on, let me get my camera in the right place. Oh, nope, not that one. Okay. So this is the really cute bag that Miss Sheila made up a pattern for. And my daughter helped me by pulling those plastic straps that go around boxes. She gets them all the time at her work, so she brought me home a few straps, and we were able to use those for that. And we've collected up some of the magnetic bottoms for this. And of course you have a pin cushion. So this gives it that weight that it needs to stay up there. You can also put this underneath your sewing machine, but of course you run the risk of it creating a, which that's not on there very good. You create the risk of making your machine a little lopsided. The other thing I like about this is I can take this piece off. Now that I put it on there, it's on there really good. Okay. So you can take this piece off, and because of the bucket bottom, the boxed bottom, you can set it up and snip right on into it. Snip, 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 snip. So this will probably be the project that we'll work on afterwards, probably after this project. So we'll see. It'll either be this or something for Christmas. We'll figure that out. Okay. So let's roll this over and see if we get right into our corner, which it looks like we did. Good job. Perfect. And then we're going to check this one. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Goes right on in there. Right into that corner. Okay. And then we're going to trim off that little triangle. And again, I save them, because I'm going to probably put this into another project. And I like the Karen K Buckley's because when I go to slice, it doesn't slide the fabric. The fabric doesn't slide over, and I will say that I love my gingers. I do love my gingers, but they do that. They do slide a bit. All right, let's see. Where did I put? Oh, here we go. I'm going to put that right there, and then we're just going to iron these. I have decided that I have a really bad habit. I have an iron habit. Yes, I have several irons. Quite a few of them I just absolutely love. Like I have an Aliso. I have two Alisas, a mini and a big one. I have a Singer. I love my Singer. I think my Singer is pretty awesome for what I spent on it. But my newest addition is a Rowenta, and I do like the Rowenta. It's a steam ironer that has a basin instead of going through the iron itself or being stored inside the iron. It's actually in a basin, and I really like that. It has really worked out well for me. All right, so we're going to move those apart. The ones where the tops come together, we're going to put those at the top, and the ones where there's a gap is going to be at the bottom. So this is the bottom, and this is the top. Now, let's grab our other two pieces and decide where you want to put them. Now, I'll be honest, the reason I'm doing this way is because when I put this one next to it, I feel like it just blends a little too much. So I kind of moved it out of the way, and I put this one here. I think I have one or two pieces that might have have them going in the opposite direction or in the other way. I'm going to iron these real quick because I noticed that they're a little bit lumpy. All right, let's grab some pins because this way I can remember how I had it. This one here, and I'm going to flip this over. And I did notice that when I cut it, or even if it could even be from when I ironed it, that it is slightly off. And again, it could be from when I cut it. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, but I know it needs to be on this side. And see, these match up perfectly. But don't worry, when we're done, we're going to square it up, sort of. All right, let's come on over here. So I will tell you, my kids like to tease me and tell me that I have a super sniffer. And all day today, I swear I have been smelling something that smells like it's overheating. It's making me crazy. Because, of course, you know, mom mode kicks in and I'm like, okay, what's on fire? And my kids, my daughter, God bless her, loves s'mores. So every once in a while she'll make s'mores in her room. When I say my daughter, I'm talking about one of my older children, my adult children, made s'mores in her room. And my room is all the way across the house. And I was actually on the computer working on some stuff, and I smelled it. And I'm like, what's going on? What is it? So I went out there, couldn't smell anything, found out the next day that she had made s'mores in her room, and she just kind of laughed at me. She's like, Mom, you and that super sniffer. And that's the same thing. I've walked around the whole house trying to figure out what that smell is, but I only smell it in here, and I cannot figure out what it is. But it's making me crazy because all I can think of is flash fire. Flash fire. But that's the mom and me. Okay, so we've got it stitched down. Here's both our pieces, and we're just going to kind of iron this open. Remember, we're using a nice 1/4 inch seam because most quilting is done with a 1/4 inch. And we're just going to press it. I do love that this iron has the steam, but I don't really need it for this project. Okay. Remember, this part where you have the 1/4 inch seam allowance right there, this is the top. The part where it's barely touching, and it's okay if they're not even. I mean, as far as, you know, this one has a little bit of space, this one has a little less space. That's okay. That's not a big deal. We're not looking for perfection on this. All right, then we're going to line it up one more time. We're just going to give it just a pin to keep it in place while I move it from one spot to the other. You don't even need pins, not really, not for this. All right, let's go over here. We're going to give it a quick stitch. Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'm going to lean in just a little bit. It is actually time for me to change my needle. Let's see if you can hear it. You hear that thunking noise? You hear the thunking noise? That is my needle. Probably the tip is slightly bent. Anyways, and it means it's time to change the needle. But I wanted to wait until we were together so I could, for any of those who are never sure when to change out a needle in a sewing machine, I have heard 8 hours. After 8 hours of sewing, after every project. And then I heard one woman say something about, yeah, she got the sewing machine 25 years ago and never changed out the needle. And I'm like, wow, does that even work? Does that even work that way? So if you're in my comments right now and you have a hard and fast rule on how long you wait to change out your needles, please make a comment, because I would love to hear from you. Me, I think I'm probably one of those auditory needle changers. When I hear it, then I know it's time to change it, because I overlook the fact that you're actually supposed to change your needle out quite frequently. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and grab my 8.5 inch ruler. And I will say I bought these, oops, sorry. All right, so I quick came over here, ironed it, it's ironed, and I forgot to, okay, there we go. So I got these rulers one at a time, because I could not afford to buy the whole set, but I was able to buy these rulers one at a time, and I do love them. They are fabulous, and then I can still see through them. I can still see very well through them, but it does hold the fabric down. Now I have plenty of rulers that don't have that, and I do use the grippy spray on them. Hello, I see my number went up at least by one, so we would love it if you would greet us and say hello. Remember to like and to also send in some hearts and stuff. I know Facebook loves to see that, and you know what I'm doing is actually not a good idea. You should never, you should always pick your project up and move it. Don't try to do your cutting at a weird angle. You will be using about 44 yards of that bias binding. I did the paperwork on it. I thought, oh, well, we'll be able to do it with just one little 11 yard cut of it. And I thought, there's no way, there's not enough of it. And so I did some more figuring. I thought, oh, times that by 5, got it. Okay, so yes, we will be using, and that's why I encourage you to get 55 yards, and make sure you're getting the 1/4 inch. You don't want the 1/2 inch, that's going to be too wide, or it's just not gonna have the same look. Okay, you should be able to find it on Amazon. It runs about $14 or $15. There is one there for $12, but watch out, that one was a 1/2 inch. And I found that out, fortunately, just before I ordered it. Because I put in for 1/4 inch, and I put in for a 1/4 inch clover, because clover makes a bias binding, which I don't think I have the box in front of me, but they make a bias binding that actually has sticky peel and stick on the back side, and that would be really cool because we're going to be laying that out. But yes, we're going to be using about 44 yards of that double fold bias tape. Somebody asked me if you can use a folded or if it's stacked. I don't know. I didn't see a stacked. But just so that you have a nice edge. You don't want any raw edges sticking out. Now, that being said, I would love to see this design that we're going to be doing with the bias tape. I wouldn't mind seeing it in a Chanel. I think a Chanel would be gorgeous. And you could probably do that in a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch or anything in between. I don't really know about the 1/2 inch because I just have not had a chance to try it out, but I really, really think it would be gorgeous. And probably a single would work, but it would probably be even prettier if it was doubled up. So whatever we stitch it down to, if you double up the Chanel, I think it would be gorgeous. And it really depends on what your background is. If you decided to go with a light background, you know, so this is dark. I chose black because that's one of my favorites for doing a quilt, is a black backing. But if you decide to do dark, white is much better, white or light gray. If you decided to do a light color backing background, then do a black or a darker color like a dark blue and, you know, navy, really dark color, or gray or something like that, something that will show up, because you definitely want it to show up. Okay, so we have this part all done, and we also know that we need it to be 6 inches this way and 8.5 inches this way. So far so good. Looks wonderful. Wonderful, I tell you. Okay, let's move to the next section. Now we're going to take both of these parts like this, and like this, and like this. And we're going to put them together just like that. Just like that. I think there's a song. I think there's a song out there that says that. I don't know who it is. If anybody can think of it, let me know. All right, so let's go over here to the sewing machine. And then, yeah, my sewing machine definitely looks darker. I took the other little light off, and now I'm wondering if I should have left it, at least left it partly on. And then let's go ahead and take that off. Normally I'd say go ahead and iron it down, but let's go ahead and take that off. And then we're going to flip this open and put the next part on. And we want to make sure that we're getting, now honestly, I would say iron it first. There we go. There. Iron it first and then do the other one. It'll just kind of keep you from getting frustrated, because I am easily frustrated when it comes to some of this stuff. Stuff that should be simple and I get kind of cray-cray at times. Okay. So this is what it looks like when we're done putting it together. And I'm going to iron. I know you're not supposed to wiggle it, and I'm sorry. But I'm still learning to use my iron. Yeah, it's still nice and hot. Okay, good. All right. Now, as you see on mine, I have, this is just slightly higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that side on here, and I'm just going to stitch it into my seam. And it should match up perfectly. Now, I would recommend that when you're doing these parts, I would do the one, see what it's going to take, get the hang of it, and then go ahead and chain stitch all the rest. Whatever you're doing for one, then do that for all of them. Okay, let's go over here. And again, we're just doing that quilter's 1/4 inch seam. Love it. Coming from a garment background where I used to sew all of my children's clothes and mine. It took me a while to get the hang of that 1/4 inch seam, because I kept wanting to do everything 5/8, 3/8 and 5/8, 3/8, 5/8. I think it was 5/8. It's been so long, I don't even remember anymore. Okay, so let's turn this a little bit. Oh, sorry. I'm looking. Okay, there we go. My pleasure, Miss Jerry. Anytime you have a question, you just ask. I'm here for you. And that goes for anybody on YouTube. If you ever have a question, please just ask in the comment section. I usually keep a close eye on it, and I'm always happy to answer questions, as long as it's questions about sewing, quilting, or things like that. Life issues, I'm not so sure. I don't have the answers for everything. Okay, so our last piece that we're going to put on is this long piece right here, this very skinny long piece. We're just going to put it down, make sure we have it where we want it. Ta-da! And then we're going to go over here and stitch it down. Now I know with this last one, I didn't get very many people posting their blocks online through their embroidery website or on the SRQ's site. But I would sure love to see what colors you chose for your pumpkins and how well you put it together. Oh, you know what? I just ran out of bobbin thread. And that's another thing. Always make sure you have a spare bobbin handy. and I don't have it handy. Where did I put my bobbins? Well, that's weird. They were right here, of course. And in the back. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, there they are. I see them now. Okay. We're just going to grab, I think I have a dark gray. I don't have any black ready, but I got some dark gray. I don't know if anybody else has issue with how to load one of these bobbins, but basically you want them to come off the bottom, up through the top, into the little groove, and snap it underneath there. And watch the way that comes off, just like that. Okay. Alrighty. And then we're going to bring it up. Alrighty. Get that back in there. I need to reload black. Okay. And then let's finish that up. And remind myself to change my needle. I actually have a needle sitting right here waiting, and I don't know why I didn't get it done earlier. Oh, I know why, because I wanted to show it to you guys. See if you could hear the thumping noise. I know that when I'm doing long arming, if I hear that, I definitely have a problem, and I should deal with it right away and not wait. Okay. Miss Jerry says, yes, it does. All right. Let's come back to the tabletop, and then we're going to flip that over. And iron that down. And there you have it, guys. This is the very first block of the Halloween 2024. Like I said, I can't wait to see what oranges you have chosen, your backgrounds. I mean, I think it's just really exciting to see what other people enjoy in fabrics, or maybe, you know, just what they have in their scraps. So please, 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 once you get your 5 blocks done, if you don't at least send me a picture of one of them, you know, I'd love to see all 5 of them, especially if you kind of mixed it up a little bit and you have 5 different pumpkins all together. Nothing wrong with that. I absolutely love the idea. So please, please, please make sure you, well, you can't actually post it on my site. Send it to me. Let me post it for you. I would love to be able to do that and see what you've done today. Honestly, once I got this cut out, it took no time at all to stitch all 5 of them together. In fact, it took everything I had not to go ahead and keep going and do this last one, but I'm like, nope, gotta wait. So tonight I'm gonna finish up, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna work, but I'm gonna finish up the second one, and I'll let you see if you can figure out what it is from the colors that I'm gonna tell you you're gonna need. And again, you know, and I don't know if I mentioned this in the email, but even if you decide to do different colored pumpkins, you know, there are all kinds of colored pumpkins out there. But just imagine a blue pumpkin or a green pumpkin or, you know, a pink. Oh, I love pink. Teal. Nicole's crying out. Teal, yeah. You know, do 5 different pumpkins. They don't have to all be the same. But for the sake of the design, I went ahead and made them all the same, because otherwise I would have a humongous long list of fabrics that I would never be able to relate to you guys. And you'd be like, what the heck is she having us do now? That's like this green. When I did the design and I pulled up the fabric requirement, it said 1/8 of green. Really, this could have come from a scrap of fabric that was no bigger than, you know, 8 inches long by, you know, 2 inches would have been more than enough fabric, because I'm pretty sure this is the only green that's in the whole thing. Anyways, all right, so let's go ahead and real quick here. we have come to the end, and we are only at 39 minutes. Wow, we did great, y'all. Okay, there we go. Camera's back. All right, y'all, thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait to see it. Again, if you want to do this pumpkin, it will be a little bit extra. I charge a small fee for some of the patterns that I've designed, and this one I designed through one of my softwares. And it was a lot of fun, and originally I had wanted to do this, but a lot of the people that I have quilting with me do not do embroidery or in the hoop. They're pieced, and that's great. I mean, that's wonderful. But I'm also getting into doing embroidery patterns as well. And so you should be able to find this one, not today, it won't be until probably tomorrow. But I will do my best to get up as quickly as I can along with this video. So remember to like, subscribe, and notify if you would like to have further notifications of, especially since we're going to be having about 4, possibly 5 weeks, but I'm going to try and keep this down to 4 weeks. For those of you who are on the email list, you should be getting the next email very soon, somewhere between today and tomorrow, to tell you what fabrics to cut next. And I will send you, hopefully I will send you the pattern. I was working on it this last week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, pattern writing is not my thing. I mean, I can design like nobody's business, but when it comes down to doing the pattern, that is definitely a weak area for me. So I'm still working on it, and I'm going to start letting my pattern person do that for me again, because I was just telling myself that I should be able to do it, and I can do it. It's just not my forte, but I don't want to get into that. I'll go there. Anyway, so again, I'll have that up on the site hopefully by tomorrow. And this one, I'll have this in the email for you, the whole pattern and the instructions in an email to you, along with what you need to cut for the next one. And again, the next one we will be doing 5 blocks. Whatever you're given, it should be enough to do 5 blocks. Okay. All right. Are there any other questions that I could answer for you today before we get ready to do our prayer time? See, that was just my quick little thing to give you a little bit of time, since prayer time is coming up next. And 1 blocks. Thank you. I had fun doing it. I was going over the pattern the other day, and starting from the very first one I started designing, and it usually goes in phases, and it was about 8 blocks, 8 wall hangings later was the final one. I moved around a lot of blocks and tried a bunch of different designs, and so what we're doing is about 8 tries before I got the one I liked. Okay. Thank y'all for sticking with me. I so appreciate it. Prayer time right now. Father, we come before you today. We ask you, Father, there's so many needs in this world right now, so many. But right now, Father, we want to ask you to reach out your loving, merciful, healing hand to Miss Jerry right now, Father. Just reach out to her right now. Send your healing love all through her body, Father. Give her doctors the knowledge they need to help her heal, to keep her with us, Father. We just love Miss Jerry, and we just want her to live a full, happy, wonderful life, Father. She is such a blessing to us, and we just ask you to heal her body. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Miss Jerry, we love you. We want you to be able to spend time with us. We want you to be able to have fun and be with us, and whatever it takes, we'll keep praying. We'll just keep praying that you receive that healing that you need. And for anyone else within the hearing of this voice, let that love and healing flow to you as well. Just receive it. Say it to yourself, I receive it, and just receive the healing that you need right now, and let it flow through you. Let God's touch make you whole, make your body whole, make your mind whole, Father. We just thank you so much, for all the great gifts that God has given us, and we thank Him for that. Y'all, I hope you Oh, thank you, Miss Claudia. Now, at least you made it in on the end, but don't worry. It will be, we will have this up on Facebook. It's good for, as far as I know, about 30 days, and you can watch it all the way through again. Watch it as many times as you need to. This is actually a fairly simple pattern, but watch it as many times as you need to. Oh, and in the end, you should wind up with an 8 by 8, 8.5 by 8.5 block, okay? 8.5 by 8.5, which will give you an 8 by 8 finished block once it's all put together. And as we go, we're going to connect the blocks. So I'll tell you which blocks go with what. And so that when it comes to the end, at least we'll have most of them put together, and we can kind of keep this down to a short time frame, especially since the holiday is coming up soon. You came at the beginning, then I shut it off, and then I couldn't find you. Aw. Oh, you are so welcome, Miss Jerry. Miss Jerry said, thank you for all you do for us. You don't understand, I am just grateful for you every day when I turn on this, every Sunday when I turn on this camera. You know, there's no helping that little bit of fear and trepidation that nobody wants to see you. And so you're just, you have to overcome that and just say, well, I'm here no matter what. And you guys, you make it what it is, okay? You're showing up and being on my lives gives me the will and the desire to come back and do it again. And I just want to say thank you so much for sticking with me. I know I say it every time, but I can't help it. I'm so grateful that you stick with me and you're here with me, and I see the quilts and they're beautiful, and the colors, oh, you guys, oh, where's my tissue? The colors that you pick and the combinations that you do it just blows my mind. You take something that I feel like is so simple and you just make it absolutely beautiful. And I'm so grateful for that. I can't even begin to express my love and gratitude for everything you do for me. And same with the YouTube family. If you guys, have completed a project, please, 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 send it to me in an email. I believe my email is in there, srqquilter.com, srqquilter@gmail.com. Send me a picture of what you've done. I would love to be able to post it on the Facebook page or on my Pinterest. Yeah, there's a Pinterest, and I'm having a hard time figuring out why I can't post more on it, but it's neither here nor there. Anyways, oh, sorry. So anyways, guys, thank you so much. I don't want to keep you on any longer than I have to. And I could chat your ear off pretty much all night long, but I don't want to do that either. If you have any more questions and I'm already turned off, just please DM me. Send them to direct messenger, or send them, email them to me. Or if you have my business phone number, send it, text it to my business phone. Just make sure you tell me who you are so I can at least put a name with the phone number or email or whatever. And just thank you again for everything and for a wonderful Saturday. I have truly enjoyed this, and I can't wait for us to do the next one. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday and the whole rest of the week, and may you be blessed.